Now I'm going to be showing you how I made this lovely little rustic bird box. This will be perfect outside of your house or up in a tree or in your local woods or out. Just made out of a couple of slats of pallet wood. This is primarily for blue tits and great tits, but you could make them bigger for starlings or make them smaller for sparrows. There you go. From my schematic, I had looked through all my pieces of wood and I've managed to get out some of them. If you can measure them out properly, you can get quite a few pieces out of the same piece. Like, I can get 2 pieces from the side and 1 from the roof. So out with these 6 pieces of wood, I've managed to use 3 small ones and 3 decent sized ones. I've marked them all out. Now I just need to sand them off. You pick which is ever going to be your best side, and that wants to be on the outside. So if it's a little bit rough on one side or a little bit too split on the other, I'll find one. I'll show you. There, look. The wood on this side isn't as good as the wood on that side. So the good side wants to be on the outside. You don't need to sand the inside because the birds won't care. You just, it's about having a good surface on the outside so you can get like a good coat of varnish or maybe even paint or anything you want on it. This doesn't matter so much, but it doesn't want to be rough. Just a quick once over. My sander, it has got a dust collector, but you will still, as you can see, you still get quite a bit of dust particles. So it is advisable to get yourself a dust mask. Now these are, I'm not going to try and tell you which ones to get. You need to research which ones you need by what size the particles and what you're doing. There are different ones for like real fine particles, or different ones for like spraying paints, some for dust. These are just dust ones. You can see how my scribing is still just there, and yet the wood is in far better quality now, just because I've just taken the rough off. Like these, they look loads better. That's what it was like, that's what it's like now. Just a couple of seconds with the electric sander. This sandpaper is, what is it? It is 80 grit. 80 grit sandpaper. Now, that is quite coarse, but then again, I'm not making this super fine. I just wanted to take the rough off it. And I've cleaned all these pieces down now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over, and any of the scribing lines, like this one completely lost its scribing lines on that side, but it has them on this side. I'm going to go over and just redo my lines, and then we'll start cutting them up. Right, I've cut them all up. I haven't laid them out. There's the back, the roof, the 2 sides, the base and the front. You can see the front, I've taken one piece and I've sliced it down the centre because I want to be able to put the hole in the middle of one. If I'd have put the hole in the middle of 2 like that, it would have split up and down, and the birds peck it either side. So you want the hole in the centre piece. I've lined them up as best they fit, and I've marked them so I know which ones go where. Some of the pieces that you might see, let me find one for you. There, look. When you look at them, they can be quite bowed. Can you see it goes like that? So all I've been doing is I've just got a plane and you just run it across. And you're just taking the bow out of the centre. There, see? That's good enough. Do this last one. To get myself started, what I've done is I've put a line of glue in there, and I've put a couple of little tiny tack nails just to hold it in place while I drill it. And all I'm doing is I'm drilling a pilot hole. Because the wood's not very thick, I need, there we go. I need screws that are going to be thick long enough to be able to go through and into the wood, and yet not too thick to be able to split it. You could just use nails, but I like using screws because I find that they don't split as much, they don't split the wood as much, and they hold fast. So all I'll do is, because this is a 3.5mm screw, I'm going to be using a 3mm drill bit to drill a pilot hole. Now, however long your threads are, you almost want to go that deep with this. You don't want to go too deep. So you'll drill a pilot hole first. And then you want to countersink it. So you're using a countersink. What that means is the hole that the screw would sit into, if you just drilled a flat hole, the screw head would sit out of it. If you countersink the hole, then the screw head sits flush. So it sits inside like a little recess. So it pays to countersink the hole. Now look, all you've done is just made the top of the hole a little bit bigger. There we are, perfect. So that's the base onto the back. What I am going to do is, because I've got two seams there, one at the back and one at the bottom in the same place, is I'm going to get a couple of staples and I'm going to put them in to hold the two sides together. But the front and the sides and the roof will hold it together also. So next I'm going to take one of the sides and fit one of the side pieces in, like that. Now you can see, as the screws are pulled tight, it's pushed the glue right up to the edge. That's perfect. Well, that's solid now. There's the two halves almost done. See, it's starting to take a bit of shape now. Get them two more side bits, then we'll get the front on. That's a 38mm hole. I didn't want to make it too big. If you make a real big one, starlings get in there. If you make a smaller one, then blue tits and great tits can get in there. You don't generally want starlings in a blue tit box. If you're going to make a starling box, it needs to be bigger, but blue tit boxes need to be smaller. So it's just time to fix that onto the front. I'll put one little hole here for the stick, and then we'll fix that to the front. You might be able to see I put a chamfer on there with the plane, and I did the same on there, look, so that it fits perfectly flush. Like that, there and there. There is your finished bird box. Now you can see there where I chamfered the ends so it would meet, and I chamfered the top there so it would meet. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. All I did was I just used a plane. I just used this plane and I just edged it off on the corners until it met. Now it's not perfect because some of the wood was bowed, some of it's got holes in, so none of it was perfectly straight, but that doesn't matter. There's only going to be a bird living in it, don't care. That isn't what you were going for. If you'd have wanted it to be absolutely perfect, you would have gone and bought perfect bits of wood, wouldn't you? But all I need to do now is I need to get a little stick, just put it the other way for it to stand on, drill a hole in here so I can fasten it up to the side of a house. Or to, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to the woods over from our house, and I'll screw it up in a tree. But there it is there. That's a lovely little rustic bird box. This one is designed for blue tits and great tits. That's why I made that hole that big. If I'd wanted it to be for starlings or sparrows, I would have made the hole bigger. But there you are. Turned out quite well, didn't it?